Thank you, thank you. Are you sure? Are you sure? If you say so, then I'll start with you, by you. But I thank you.
Our way, right way.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. This one. Yeah. You don't see. Oh, he's going up. Yeah. Oh, yeah. Good morning, everyone. Good to see you. It's refreshing to be outside, isn't it? Yeah. So it's a little bit chilly this morning, but we'll warm things up fast with our bright and warm spirits, right? Yes, that's right. Okay, so just a couple of announcements for today, and some of them are in the back of your program. Um, Next Sunday, we're going to continue with the new series that's starting today on creation. After all, we are here today recognizing and celebrating Earth Day. And so that series will continue next week. And hopefully, with fingers crossed, we'll hear some testimonies from our large contingent of representatives who are off in Korea right now, celebrating a few special holy days with Mother. Also, coming up on May 4th, which is a Saturday, is our annual Spring Fest. So it's an all-day program. Part of it is going to be an Ambassadors for Peace award ceremony. And I want you to know that the keynote speaker there is David Eaton, which is going to be great. So you don't want to miss that. Also, I want to let you know that the National Ocean Challenge program in Kodiak, Alaska is open for registration. They're already 50% full. But if you want more detail about that, you can go to their website, which is kodiakoceantribe.com. And if you have any questions about it, you can ask me. And also in the realm of fishing, next month is our annual striped bass tournament, the Peace King Cup tournament. So we'll have more information about that next week, but you can go online to peacekingcup.com and get more information on that. Okay. All righty. So I would like to invite up the praise and worship team to lead us in some music this morning. Sure.
Ladies and gentlemen, good morning. How's everybody doing?
Great.
So, guess what? Da 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 da! You have a new leader,
Yay!
Galvin. This is the new song leader. It's great because he's starting in the spring, and he's a spring chick. And it's great to start new things in the spring, new growth, new life, and he will bring great things. So we're going to do the 3 songs: Spring Song of Eden, By the Spring of Life, and All the Lands That I Love. Anytime. Come, all ye friends, to the Garden of Eden, where the spring blossoms are best. Joyfully singing, joyfully singing together our song. Friends in our Eden regain. Here in the garden together we'll meet, singing new songs of joy. It's in your pamphlet. Come, all ye friends, to the Garden of Eden, singing new songs of delight, joyfully dancing together with song. Friends in our Eden rejoice. Here in the garden together we'll dance, singing new songs of joy. Come, O ye friends, to the Garden of Eden, where joy and happiness reigns. Joyfully sharing together our love, here in the Garden of Peace. Come, O ye, come to the garden, my friends, singing new songs of joy. Come, O ye, come. Come, ye, come to the garden, my friends, singing new songs of joy. And with that, we move on to By the Spring of Life. We're marching to the blessed land of Canaan with delight. We're leaving all our heavy burdens here. At last we are released and free from being slaves to sin. We're coming to the blessed spring of life. Coming to the spring, we're living water flows. In glory we'll be living evermore. Going to the land where freely flows the spring. In glory we'll be living evermore. Oh, guide us with your pillars, Lord, of fire and of clouds. Oh, give us paths to follow with our lives. Oh, the moment that we cross the Jordan River is at hand. We're coming to the blessed spring of life. Coming to the spring where living water flows. In glory we'll be living evermore. Going to the land where freely flows the spring. In glory we'll be living evermore. Our thirsting hearts receive with joy the manna from above. Your precious food will always be our strength. So if the future finds us lacking, we will not despair. We're coming to the blessed spring of life. Everybody sing! Coming to the spring where living water flows. In glory we're living evermore. Going to the land where freely flows the spring. In glory we'll be living evermore. Coming to the spring. Coming to the spring where living water flows. In glory we'll be living evermore. Going to the land where freely flows the spring. In glory we'll be living evermore. In glory we'll be living evermore. In glory we'll be living evermore. Amen. Okay, the last song we sing is All the Lands That I Love. I have been wandering all over this world, looking for something I just couldn't find. Seems like I'm moving in search of myself. Where will I find my peace of mind? All the lands that I loved, all the seas that I sailed, miles and years ruled by me. It's such a lonely trail. Finding a welcome so deep in my soul. I know I find it in the city of gold. People so friendly, I know I will meet. My heart's pouring open, please take it for keeps. All the lands that I love, all the seas that I sailed, there to you now, my heart is in your hand. Our love's creating a world full of hope. Stars are glowing, this fresh morning sun. Children are dancing and praising. Father is laughing, our loom has begun. All the lands that I love, all the seas that I sailed, are fulfilled this moment. We've come home to your love. The chorus one more time. All the lands that I love, all the seas that I sail, can't compare to you now. We come home to your love. Yay! Thank you.
Please join me in prayer. Precious Heavenly Parent, we are here to really enjoy and celebrate the beauty of creation, the genius of creation. The principles that you created this world are so deep and so amazing. We want to understand you more, and we're so grateful that our two parents give us this understanding and principles to understand the world, so we can better love your creation that you give to us, to enjoy, but also to take care of. We pray also that we learn from you how to be a community, how to work together, how to support all those that take responsibility. Pastor Jessen will give his inspiration. We're so grateful for him and pray that you can work through him. And have a day that you join us as we work in the garden and become a community that really emulates love, and principle, service, and living for the sake of this world, this country, and each other. Thank you so much for our true mother. We pray for our young adults that are in Korea, getting more and more connected to our true mother, and pray that there's a real victory there. Thank you so much for loving us so much, never giving up on us, and giving us the greatest blessing of our two parents. I pray this in my name. Lynn Walsh, of Blessed Central Family. Jew.
Thank you, Lynn. Isn't it beautiful to just be sitting outside? If you just listen for a minute, well, now there's an airplane, heck. But just while Lynn was praying, I felt like we inspired the birds because we sang and gave our best. And then we could hear them all answering back to us. There's still a few of them there. So thank you, brothers and sisters, for coming today. It's Earth Day. It's our gardening day. And we get to enjoy just this beautiful time to be together in this precious, precious place of Belvedere, filled with so much beauty, but also so many wonderful memories and stories too. So we're going to start off today with something a little bit different and kind of fun. And again, to get rid of the chill, an icebreaker led by Pastor Mika.
Hi, everyone. All right. So the icebreaker today is find things in common. So yeah, I think this will be pretty fun. I know that me and Pastor Justin, maybe also Pastor Daryl, we did this game on our leaders retreat, pastors retreat, sometime in I think in February. And it was really fun. So we thought it would be fun for all of you. So yeah, the main goal here is to really find as many things in common as possible. So you're just gonna go in groups of at least 4 or 5. You don't really need to stand up or move anywhere. You can just find just near where you're sitting. And you can use, if you have a pen, you can write down on the program, or you can just use your phone. Maybe just designate one person to write everything down. Yeah, and just really come up with anything. I mean, really, a lot of things we have in common, right? Our faith. Maybe we all have brown hair, or or other hair, or I think other colors. But yeah, you really can just make up anything. Favorite food, maybe you have the same thing in common about food, anything, really anything is on the table here. So as many things in common in just 5 minutes, okay? So just as I'm going to allow you guys to just go into groups, and then we'll start the timer, all right? So just where, right. Where is it? Are you all set? Does everyone have a group? All right, if I don't hear anything, that means you guys are all set, okay? Okay, I'm going to start the timer. 5 minutes. Go. All right, just about a minute left. Minute left. Right. Just about 15 seconds. Write as many as you can. All right, time's up. Put down your pens. Stop typing. I know, it's so much fun, right? I've heard so much laughter. All right. Can we all come facing to the front again? So now I'm gonna. Oh no. Sorry. Thank you. So now I'm just gonna shout out numbers, see how many things you got in common. So I hope you marked them down. You counted them. If you need time to count, do that now. So yeah, from within all these groups, did you get 5? 5 in common? Just raise your hand. 5. Just keep your hands raised. 5. Okay. Wow, that's a lot. Good. Nice. What about 10? 10 things in common? Wow. All right. 15. Wow. You have so much in common. That's really amazing. What about 20? Okay. All right, we're getting up there. How about 25? Wow. Okay. Wait. Keep your hands up. Okay. How about 27? Is it just Jamel? Oh. 27? 22. Okay. Do we have 27 though? 26. So the 26 is the highest. All right. Woo, 26. That's pretty good. Well, thank you for playing that game. I hope that was really fun. Oh, actually, yeah, sure. The one that got the most, can you share? Oh, I don't have a. You can stand up and share just a few that was like really good. Oh. Oh, cool. We've all been fishing. Nice. We can all laugh and we all love coffee. Nice. Wow, those are good ones. Yeah, nice. Good job. All right. Well, now that we're all warm and cozy and full of laughter, let's introduce Pastor Justin to speak about creation today.
All right. Good morning, everybody. Good to see you all. Yeah, so it's nice to be outside, right? I know it's a I know it's a little cold, but thanks for bearing with us. Um, yeah, speaking outside as someone who uses PowerPoint a lot is challenging. But I think this visual is much better than any PowerPoint I could put together, right? Seeing this amazing nature, this property, and it fits very well with our theme for today, and also this new sermon series that we're beginning today, focusing on creation. And today, yeah, I was thinking, maybe we should just like all grab a flower and just like meditate on that flower for 15 minutes and say, okay, sermon's over, but that's maybe a little too new agey. So I'll stick to a message. But today, specifically, I want to talk about this idea of stewardship. Have you heard this word before, stewardship? So I want to go through three main points. One is, just what is stewardship? What does it actually mean? And then why do we want to practice good stewardship in our life? And finally, just a few tips on how to actually practice good stewardship in life. So first of all, what is stewardship? So stewardship is basically, well, the definition I found is the careful and responsible management of something entrusted to one's care. So you're caring for something that's been entrusted to you, right? If it's being entrusted to you, that means it doesn't actually belong to you, right? Somebody else is entrusting it to you and saying, here, please take care of this for me, right? And the word stewardship, it comes from the word steward, right? A steward is it's a job. It's somebody who was a manager of a large household or an estate, right? So stewardship is being somebody is practicing, taking care of a household, of a property, of something. And of course, in a more spiritual meaning, we expand that idea of stewardship to just beyond, taking care of a property or a house, but also really just taking care of the things that God has blessed us with, right? So whether that be external possessions, objects, your clothes that you're wearing, the seats that you're sitting on, whatever that might be, stewardship would be taking care of the things that we have. Stewardship can also be taking care of ourselves, right? Because we've been gifted this life from God, right? We've been gifted this body from God, right? Or from our parents, right? Also, I believe, God has gifted us all with certain talents and gifts and abilities, right? We have amazing, singers in this community, right? We were talking about last night, that there are some communities that don't have a single good singer in the congregation. I've been to churches where they don't have they don't have good singers. We're blessed actually in this community to have quite a few, great singers, musicians, right? People who are great, playing guitar. We have, we just had Galvin on the guitar today. People who are up and coming and developing their gifts and talents, right? And also another thing that we practice stewardship over is our time, right? Taking care and making sure that we're using our time wisely in life. And today I want to focus on using the stewardship of the property that we've been blessed with, Belvedere, as an example, right? But the principles of stewardship that we're going to talk about, with this property or the earth, the land that we have, especially as we are, celebrating Earth Day. Actually, it's tomorrow, but all across the nation, we celebrate Earth Day on the 22nd. These principles of stewardship are an example that you can apply to any area of your life when it comes to stewardship. So why practice good stewardship? I want to share about this by reading a famous parable called the Parable of the Talents. I'm sure you've all heard this one before. So I'm going to read it. It says, "For it will be like a man going on a journey." This is Jesus sharing about what the kingdom of heaven is going to be like, right? He says, "Who called his servants and entrusted to them his property. To one he gave 5 talents." Talents is basically it's like money, right? It's gold. It's, he's giving them something very valuable. To another 2, and to another 1, to each according to his ability, right? So there's this master of this big household, and he's got these 3 servants, and he's about to leave. Before he leaves, he gives them some gold, some money. Then he went away. He who had received the 5 talents went at once and traded with them, and he made 5 talents more, right? So he went out and he doubled his money. That's pretty good. So also he who had the 2 talents made 2 talents more. So again, he had 2 talents, he doubled his money. But he who had received the 1 talent went and dug in the ground and hid his master's money. Now, after a long time, the master of those servants came and settled accounts with them, right? So the master eventually comes back and he's wondering, all right, guys, what did you do with the money that I gave you? Right? And so the one with the 5 talents, he comes forward, he brings 5 talents more and saying, "Master, you delivered to me 5 talents. Here I have made 5 more talents." And his master said to him, "Well done, good and faithful servant. You have been faithful over a little. I will set you over much. Enter into the joy of your master." Right? So he's so happy with this servant. He went out and he doubled his money. And the servant came back and he said, "Look, I doubled the money." And he's like, "Wow, that's amazing. You did a great job. Let's go and let's enjoy this wealth together." The second one also came and he said, "Master, you delivered me 2 talents and I have made 2 more." The master said, "Well done, good and faithful servant. You have been faithful over a little. I will set you over much." All right. So, and then he says, "Enter into the joy of your master." Right. So even the second one didn't get as much as the one that got 5, but he still, with what he had, he went out and he multiplied it. Right. And again, the master is very happy because even though he didn't get so much, he still had that heart to make it better, make it multiply it and spread it. And then the last one, he who had received the 1 talent came forward saying, "Master, I knew you to be a hard man, reaping where you did not sow and gathering where you scattered no seed. So I was afraid and I went and hid your talent in the ground. Here, you have what is yours." But his master answered him, "You wicked and slothful servant. You knew that I reap where I have not sown and gather where I have scattered no seed. Then you ought to have invested my money with the bankers, and at my coming, I should have received what was my own with interest." So, right. So this master, he's quite upset, right? This last servant, he just buried the money. He was, just very fearful about it and just, let me just put this here just in case he comes back, and the master says, "Why didn't you at least put it into a bank? You could have gotten some interest on it." And it reminds me of when I was a little kid. My parents used to give us $5 a month of allowance money. And at one point, my mom taught us about a savings account. Like, you put this money in your savings account, you can get some interest. Right? And I was so excited about this idea of getting like 2 cents every month that I didn't have to work for, right? So anyway, back to the parable. So the master says, "So take the talent from him and give it to him who has the 10 talents. For to everyone who has will more be given, and he will have an abundance. But from the one who has not, even what he has will be taken away. And cast the worthless servant into the outer darkness. In that place there will be weeping and gnashing of teeth." Ooh, that's pretty harsh, right? Ooh, that's pretty harsh. Yeah. Aren't we glad our parents don't do that to us? um, but I think this is, sometimes we share these kind of harsh stories to prove a point, right? I don't think it really conveys the heart of God, right? But it's to prove a point that God wants us, when we receive something from God, God wants us to be able to multiply it, right? To make it even better than what we received. And I think we here at Belvedere, this is very real for us, right? In this property, because this was a property that Father and Mother Moon, our founders, actually lived in the house up the hill for a little while, and at one point, right, they left, right? They left this property that they lived for many years, and they entrusted it to those who are staying behind, right? And who's that? Right? That's us, right? That's us, right? Instead of the 3 servants, it was the 3 Mikes, right? Mike McDivitt, Mike Chapman, and Mike Wyatt, and and the rest of the Belvedere staff, but also us, right? The Belvedere community, right? So, so why does God want us to multiply this, right? I think we think about that heart of God, right? Isn't it so beautiful when you give something to your children and they make it even better, right? Like we give our DNA to our children, right? We give them whatever the goodness of our talents, our gifts, the way we look, and we give it to our children, and then they grow and they do something with that. They do something with that life, right? And when they do something great with that life, as parents, we feel so joyful and so proud, right? So ultimately, right, it's about really bringing more joy to God, bringing joy to the ones who've given us so much. And for us in particular, right, we have this opportunity to bring more joy to our Father and Mother Moon. Because maybe someday, just like the master came back one day, right? Maybe one day, Mother will come back and say, "Well, Belvedere community, what have you done with the property that I entrusted to you?" Right? So what, so that's something that we have to think about, right? There's different mindsets when we're entrusted with something, right? Are we going to have that mindset of those first 2 servants and take what we got and make it even better, right? And multiply it and make it even more beautiful than when it was left, right? Or are we going to take it and just try to hold on to it and bury it, and keep it to ourselves, right? And shut out the rest of the world and just try to hide what we've got, right? We have a choice to make, right? And and I think we are doing a really great job. I want to give it up to our property team, who are keeping this place so beautiful. Let's give it up for them. And we continue to try to develop this environment, right? And that's also something that Mother Moon's been emphasizing so much recently, is really creating a beautiful environment for people to grow up naturally in that space of love and joy. And this is a property where people can just walk around and they can feel that incredible love of God, love of their heavenly parent, and without even having to preach to them, without having to teach them something, just by walking around and saying, "Wow, look what God has given us," right? You can just feel that incredible joy. And when, we recently had this event with this Blue Dragon tour, and members came from all around the Northeast to come here. And so many of them, they're just they always tell me, "Oh, you guys are so lucky. You have the most beautiful church. You have the most beautiful community in the nation. I mean, this place is amazing." So I want to just end with a few points again about how we can practice good stewardship. And I think it really starts with our hearts, right? It starts with having a heart of gratitude for what we have. And a big part of gratitude is just acknowledging what we have. We talk about, counting our blessings, like going around and just admiring the beauty that we have around us. And actually, during the last weekend's event on Friday, while everyone was inside, doing what they were supposed to be doing, I was outside, and I looked up to the sky, and you wouldn't believe it unless you were there. It was the most beautiful double rainbow outside. I don't know if you guys saw that. It was, my God, it was like, oh, like the entire, sky just had this beautiful double rainbow. I'd never actually seen a double rainbow in person before. So I was quite, I was like, whoa, I just had to take a picture. I'll post it on online if you want to see it. But at that moment, I just felt, so grateful I just felt like in that moment, God wanted to bless me with something that was so beautiful, right? And wanting to show me like this beam of hope and love and color. So that's the first point, is really just taking those moments to soak it in, to soak in the gratitude of what we have, of this beautiful property, of this beautiful nature that we have, of the beautiful garden that we're building, and the developments that we continue to develop. The second point is practicing a heart of ownership, right? So, I love the movie The Lion King. And there's a scene where, Mufasa is with the young Simba, and they're looking out at the land, and Mufasa says, "Simba, everything the light touches is our kingdom." And Simba goes, "Wow." And Mufasa says, "A king's time as ruler rises and falls like the sun. One day, Simba, the sun will set on my time here and will rise with you, the new king." And then Simba says, "What about that black, dark place over there?" And then Mufasa says, "You must never go there." No, okay. Anyway, getting away from the point. When there's been a few times I've just walked around this property with my son, and I remember one time I was walking around with him, and that line from that movie came to me, and I just thought, Ryoma, everything you see here is our kingdom. One day this will all be yours. It's this feeling of like pride, of ownership. This is ours. This is our place. And the difference between, I think, the parable that we read and our life is we're not just servants, right? We're not just here to be servants to God, or to Father, Mother, Moon, or to Jesus. We're here as God's children, right? So God doesn't want us just to, be the groundskeepers of this place, but to own this place, right? As the sons and daughters, right? And so, I've had this idea, if I was ever gonna, invite someone to this property, I could tell them, you want to check out my father's house? My parents have this amazing, house on the hill. Come check it out, and just, take them here and just walk around and look at it, and like, yeah, we own this, we own this, and it's an amazing thing. And I feel, I want us all to have that heart of that, we actually own this. This is ours to share with others, right? That doesn't mean go into the places that are off limits. Don't worry. Property team, let's respect the wishes. But one tip is even just thinking about one place, one aspect of this community, of this property that you can feel a sense of ownership over, right? Maybe you're somebody who spends a lot of time in the kitchen cooking for up and coming, right? For the youth ministry, right? Have that heart that, this is my kitchen. and take care of it as if it was your own, right? Because one thing, I think if you have any experience, owning a home or being in a home or renting a home, that the heart of the owner towards that home and the heart of a renter towards that home is very different, right? A renter is going to, use it up as much as possible without investing a penny, as little as they can, right? But an owner wants to take care of that space, right? Wants to make sure that it's well kept and make it more and more beautiful every single opportunity. So choose a place and own it. Maybe it's the garden, maybe it's the room, the baby room, maybe it's, I know, Charles does a great job just owning that AV station, right? He owns it, right? He really takes care of it. And then the last point about practicing good stewardship is practicing this heart of generosity, right? Because ultimately, I think the reason why in the deepest part of our hearts, why we want to own something is not just for ourselves, right? But it's nice to own things because of what we can do for others when we own things, right? That we can invite others into it. As much as I appreciate and love, living with my parents, I don't own that house, right? So, someday I would love to be able to own a home, not because it would change much. I mean, I've got enough to live. I've got my own room, but just so that I can say, just so I can invite people to my home, to my house, and I could feel that sense of, I can host people, I can share with people. So, ultimately, I think this property is too beautiful for just us, right? It's too much, there's too much here to not share with the world, to not share with all those people that are outside of these gates, right? And so we want to think about that. We want to meditate and pray on how we can have that heart of sharing this place with others, creating programs that other people can come into, working together with other people who have programs, who have things that they want to share, they want to teach, right? I mean, I would love to have, Saturday mornings having a carpentry class by a master carpenter like Paul Fontaine, invite people in just to learn, or a vocal lesson from Steve Honey and Raul on a Thursday night, just how can we create more opportunities to share what we have with others, right? And finally, just a little plug for our Spring Fest. This is an opportunity that we have to really open this place up. And that's really my dream, is to make this place a place where people can come in, they look around, they see all the possibilities of what could be done with this place as a community, right? It doesn't just have to be what we do on Sundays, right? I mean, there's just so much potential, gardening seminars, again, music classes, but also just having, fun and festivals for all the family together, right? So yeah, May 4th, we're going to have this spring festival, and we really want it to be something that anybody could come to. Let's put up, flyers at the supermarket, and, just say, come in and enjoy a time with the whole family and experience the amazing blessings that God has given us. And yeah, I think if we do that, and, if we can show some pictures to the to Mother, this is what we've done, with this property. This is the blessings that we are sharing with what you gave us. This is what we're creating with what you gave us. She can come back and she can say, I'm so proud of you, and I thank you so much for doing, fulfilling your responsibility and bringing joy to others and to me. So let's make that happen. Can we make that happen? All right. Thank you, brothers and sisters. Love you. God bless you. And we are also going to welcome up Dominic to share a little bit. He's been someone who's been working so hard and really practicing stewardship of this property. Let's give it up for our brother, Dominic Barber.
Good morning, everybody. This won't be long. Justin said pretty much everything that needs to be said, right? Wasn't that a good message? Stewardship and ownership. These are really great principles. And so I came here in my Sunday best. As you can see, I'm dirty already, but it's good, clean dirt. Don't worry. So we're going to get out there in the garden, and we're going to learn something about the divine principle as well as about dirt. Okay, so who knows what that is? How did you know that? You got a really good eyesight. It's almost too small to see. So here's one you can see a little bit better. Whoop. This is a seed. Okay, what is essentially a seed? A what? A potential life, yes. A blueprint. Who said a blueprint? Yes. A seed is a design, right? It's a little blueprint, and it's essentially a design with some energy or some food in it, right? So now think about if you were to design a house, or if you want to build a house, you would get a design. And then you put it on the ground, and that would be your house, right? No, right? That's just a piece of paper with a design on it, right? So the house, the design needs some energy, and it needs some materials, and it needs some skill, some knowledge to put those materials together to make the design unfold. Right? This is the divine principle at work, right? You've all heard about the stages of growth and about the um, the work that we need to do in our spiritual lives to grow, right? 5% human responsibility and 95% God's responsibility. But what is it about that 5% responsibility that it also says? Yeah, it's 100% of your effort. So, in other words, in the grand scheme of things, God does a lot of the work, but and we do a tiny little bit of the work, but it takes a lot of effort, right? I love spring because spring is an example of God's enormous power at work, just bringing new life to the land. Look at Belvedere. Everything is just popping out with flowers and leaves, and the birds are singing, the insects are flying, and they're pollinating, and they're busy going all over the place, and life is teeming. But Belvedere wouldn't have become as beautiful as it is without those people putting in their little 5%, right? We cut the grass, we plant some trees, we build things, and now it's a beautiful property. And God gave us um, that ability to take something that would just be maybe plain and just overgrown and make something very special and very beautiful, right? So when we go out into the garden, we're trying to grow things that it's not just random. We're not just letting God do the work. We're actually applying our 5%. We're putting a lot of work in and a lot of energy into it. And we're also trying to learn how to do it correctly, right? So if you want to build a house, you need those, carpentry skills. You need those various different skills. In the garden, you need to know the principles of how things grow. So when you go out there, I'm like Justin was saying, I'm not looking for people who come along and say, tell me what to do. What we need to do is learn how to do things and learn how to grow. So when you go out there, don't just think, okay, I'll do a little job. But if we take ownership, that means you're going to maybe you take ownership of a plant, or maybe a bed, or maybe learn about how to create good soil, or enhance the beauty of the place, grow flowers. So there's a lot of things to do with the garden. There's the garden is amazing. It's not just getting a seedling or a seed, putting it in the ground and giving it water, because there's building the soil, and um, there's enhancing all the little microbes, those invisible things that are working underground to help the plants to grow. There's encouraging the insects. People don't like all these things like the creepy crawlies and the bugs and the insects and stuff like that, but they are so important, to the garden. So we have to enjoy them. I love it when little Maya comes out into the garden, because every time she comes out there, she wants to see the worms. And so I open the compost bin, and I say, "You see the worms?" And she looks and she's confused because all the worms are underground. And then I turn over the soil a little bit, and all these little worms are like crawling around, and she loves it. We have to love those things because they're helping us, right? They're helping us create the soil. So we have to encourage the birds, the pollinators, the insects, the microbes, the fungi, all of those things to help the garden grow. So I encourage you. This is a really amazing experience, especially even for your children and the young people, to learn about how to take care of creation. Mother talks all the time about the planet and making sure that we care for the planet that we're living in. So there's where you learn those kinds of principles and skills and knowledge. And so please come to the garden. Please come often. Please come during the week. Please, invest something in it. Take ownership over an area or over something, and let's make it a beautiful place. People will come. We had so many people come in, just randomly walking in off the property to come to our garden last year. So we make it beautiful. We'll have people coming in, and then we have new friends. And every time I meet somebody who's around here, if they seem like they're nice people, I say, come into Belvedere and walk around and enjoy the property. And then if we're in the garden, I'll tell them, come into the garden. We got a community garden here, and people are always excited by that. So let's make it a really beautiful place, the garden of God's joy. Thank you.
Thank you, Dominic, and thank you again for your message, Pastor Justin. So note to self, next year when we celebrate Earth Day, we're going to turn the chairs around so we can all face, because we have this incredible vista that the speakers are looking at, while everybody else is looking at the building. But anyway, next year we're going to turn the chairs around. So we have an important thing to do today before we break for lunch and gardening, and that is distribution of the special Death Valley Holy Salt. So I'm going to invite Pastor Justin back up to lead this.
All right. Thank you. So do you have a question? Okay, it's got to be quick. Okay.
I'm sorry, guys, but I have a comment to make. The reason I'm standing here before this morning, I need help. We are looking a volunteer for ushering and greeting. So if you are interested, please come and talk to me, give me a call, or give me a text. This place is your house. So nobody knows what's going to happen tomorrow or the following week, but we have to be ready to welcome people. Nobody knows what's going to happen tomorrow, and we have to be ready. What King David said, I better be a doorkeeper in a God house than sleep in a tent with the wicked. Thank you for your time.
Thank you. All right. Thank you, Jamel. By the way, Jamel stepped up as our new hospitality coordinator. Let's give it up for Jamel. So, we're going to be giving out the new Death Valley holy salt. So I'm sure many of you have heard the explanation on Saturday, so I'm not going to go into it too much. But just so you're clear, this is not for sprinkling on your groceries or anything like that. This is kind of symbolic of, spreading, being the salt of the earth. There's this famous Bible passage about, being the salt of the earth. And this is about when you go out and you're meeting people, this is to kind of take a piece, a token from True Mother, to give you that courage, that heart to go out, to reach out. So yeah, please receive it. I heard that it warms up when you get close to new people and glows green. No, I'm just kidding. No, but it's very, very precious. So we're gonna give out one per family, and it's a little thing. And if you want to just share it amongst your spouse, that's fine. You can do that. So yeah, let's start giving out the holy salt. No, only the pastor's allowed to. But if you need more, just let me know. Okay, and then we can also welcome back our song team to finish us up. So let's welcome back our song team. Wait, where's Galvin? Oh, there he is. Let's welcome up our song team.
So our song leader chose a song to close with. It's called "If Life Were Gracious Enough." I'm going to, because we don't have the
It's okay.
yeah, I'm going to say the words out. The introduction. If life were gracious enough, if it lie gracious to grant my way, I would reach to the ends of the earth to give love in every day, and each would find his home with peace and friendship there, where joyous sounds abound and happiness to share. If life were gracious enough to grant my dream, I would see your face in the stars and hear your song in every stream, the comfort of your smile, in the warm caress of spring, in the dance of life all the while. I feel your love in everything. We will make life gracious enough to fulfill our dreams. We will lift off the weight of the world, and our love will blossom supreme. We'll free each heart from the pain and anguish of the past. through the preciousness of our love, through joy will reign at last. Through the preciousness of our love, through joy will reign at last.
Thank you, song team, and thank you, new song team leader, music leader. We're off to a great start. So right now we're going to have lunch. You can have lunch. Lunch is available there. It's what time is it? It's about 12:06. So we also have coffee here, but we will meet at the garden in 30 minutes. And there's also coffee there. If you like, you can bring your, we know how to get you. We know how to motivate you. You can take your lunch and take it over there, but you can also, we'll meet there and have our coffee or whatever and get to work. All right. Thank you so much, everybody. We'll see you at the garden.